In the section on the Dupont model, we showed how we can calculate a company's profitability, and we also showed that we will have the best possible improvement if we work on several areas at the same time. However, it is necessary to be aware of the conflicting nature of individual variables and that they may be assigned different levels of importance by different people or functions in a company. A majority of performance variables are, in fact, conflicting. As a result of these inverse relationships, certain priorities must normally be assigned to the variables. It is not a question of optimizing one individual performance variable, but rather striving towards the best overall performance based on the trade-off between several variables. We will here go through some of these conflicts. It is especially important to balance the trade-offs between the three areas that we have introduced as important for the company's profitability, that is customer service, tied-up capital, and costs. The three variables have direct impact on the company's profitability. The goal should be to create an optimum balance of the three variables and not to increase one variable at the expense of the other. If we look at the Dupont model, we can identify what part each of the three areas influence. Let's take some common situation that the companies want to achieve. For example, let's say that we want to improve the customer service. One way of doing this is to increase the amount of finished goods. This will lead to an increase in tied-up capital and high storage costs. Another example of common situation that companies want to achieve is short throughput time in production, which can be achieved by small manufacturing batches. But this creates low capacity utilization and high manufacturing costs per unit due to setup times. Another goal can be, for example, that the purchasing department want to lower the overall purchasing price for raw materials and components. And one way of doing this is to increase the amount of items purchased each time. This can lead to both better unit price due to volume discounts as well as lower transportation price per unit. But on the other hand, tied-up capital will increase as well as cost for storage. Since we then will order each item less frequently, we will also need a higher safety stock. If not, the customer service might be lower. There are not only goal conflicts between performance variables, but also between the company's different departments. The reason is that many companies operate as functional organizations. That is, different departments are specialized and focused on their own well-defined tasks, each striving to minimize its own cost and tied-up capital, without considering the whole flow of materials. Such an approach easily leads to sub-optimization. Individual departments are optimized at the cost of overall performance. Another effect is that employees tend to focus on their own particular task to satisfy the manager instead of the customer. The focus then tends to be on efficient use of resources rather than customer value. A question for you now is to look up goal conflicts. They are not uncommon between different functions in a company. Identify and describe at least one conflict. Examples of functions can be between purchasing and storage, marketing and production, or, for example, sales and production.